That's right.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
Time for the Flippy update. Flippy is our colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. Oh no! And stealing our podcasts. We use talking about Flippy as a way to explore all the new, fun, and exciting ways that robots are taking over the world and how there's nothing we can do about it. Today, Flippy update is coming from Gons.
Actually, it was shared by producer Caleb, so thank you, Caleb, for sharing this with us.
Thank you, Caleb.
This is a lecture by Dr. Harry Clore, like floor, but with the K, Clore. He's co-founder and CEO of Beyond Imagination, and he was presenting from Upgrading Humanity at the Future Investment Initiative 6 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Because they're leading the charge, and we've reported on Biomni before, so that's not new. But the
sort of the sleekest, sort of weirdest looking, futuristic sort of. They kind of tried to put some sex appeal on this robot. It's a weird one.
Yeah, it's weird. And the video starts off. It shows him, giving jabs and stuff, things of that nature. Yeah. Very medical.
They literally show this robot giving an injection to a fake rubber arm. Yes. It's terrifying.
Yes. Okay. So this is the Biomni being presented by Harry Clore, Dr. Harry Clore.
It's a great pleasure to be here at the Future Investment Initiative because we are creating the future of manpower.
Manpower.
So this is Biomni. Biomni is an AI robotics platform capable of doing a limitless number of tasks.
Ooh.
We do this by having a human operator using a VR haptics sort of system, which enables it to train the robot and create data for it. That data then goes into an AI engine, and it learns to do what you've just done.
Yes, we've been talking about this for a long time, but this is very...
And it's sort of the most offensive part of this robot, and there's other robots doing it, is that it's not trained primarily on, software, on AI generated situations that allow the robot to kind of figure out the world around it. But it starts off controlled by a human and then learns from the human. It's kind of like if you're in a job you're being forced to train your replacement.
Right. That's exactly what this is.
Yeah.
And what's interesting as well is the video shows people on the stage grabbing a little controller in front of their laptops. Looks like a little PS4 controller. And, they're getting ready to control the robot. But there's a little bit more here.
Imagine what we can do in the world if labor costs get cut in half. What does that do for the cost of goods? In the United States and around the world, we're concerned about inflation. Well, what happens to inflation when your goods cost less, the cost of energy is less because the manpower involved with it is less? What happens when I can duplicate a nurse so that instead of having 1.2 billion people who don't have access to any health care, suddenly they all have it? Because if I have one nurse, I can have 1 million nurses.
Oh.
I like his hubris. What if I can just duplicate nurses?
Yeah.
Just print nurses on, without end. Very interesting.
First of all, I don't think this guy understands how inflation works, but that seems to be beside the point.
Yeah. Inflation happening, but everything's going to be cheaper. So, so this next clip here, this is where I think the point you made at the beginning there about the disregard for humans as AI sort of takes over all the jobs. It comes to the forefront in a very explicit way here. And by the way, he's talking at this event. There's like nobody in the crowd. They're not really showing the full crowd, but they do a side shot.
You can see pieces, like chunks of the
seating,
of the chairs, and there's nobody there. There's zero people sitting.
Well, that's what makes it a little bit more concerning, in my opinion. When nobody's paying attention, that's when they start rolling this stuff out. But here we go.
It's created to look like a presentation when it's simply just a piece of media they're produced.
Here we go.
This sort of system brings equality in several ways. One, I could have work centers in which a person can work through the robot while it's in his avatar function. And it won't matter what your race is, what your nationality is, what your sex is. It just matters on how well you're doing the work. Now, over time, our robot evolves. It does this on a task-by-task basis. So through the human operator, it learns to be able to do a task, and then it evolves to do that autonomously. So we're going to first start in surgical assist, and then it will move on to nursing. It'll move on to a variety of other healthcare aspects.
Well, what about the people? You just talked about equality. Like, doesn't matter what sex, what race, whatever. And then he literally just rolled right into, and they're going to replace all those people.
Yeah, it's great. It is like, I mean, first of all, it's hilarious. This is for equity and inclusion, and doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you look like or what gender you are, because the robot will replace you all the same. Yeah. And this human training to the AI is not new. Just for a reminder for people, this is the same concept of the CAPTCHAs. When you're logging in to an account or starting a new account, and you have to click on all the fire hydrants or stoplights, things like that. That is actually human beings. You are training an AI when that happens. And it was a genius system, because not only do you prove that you're not a robot, allegedly, but you are training the robot to prove that it is not a robot, which is a hilarious sort of, philosophical conundrum. And they're using the same idea here. Only a human could do this job, but the robot will learn and eventually replace the human. This, and of course, it's all being done in the name of medical care, or healthcare or whatever. Yeah, because we can turn one nurse into 1 million nurses. Yeah. Well, sorry, other human nurses.
Once we take all your data, like how you do things, then you will not be needed. So go
train your replacement. Then we'll put you on universal basic income and just let the robots do all the hard work.
Yep. And then one last part here for those of you watching, you will see the creepy wiggly fingers of Omni, and also his company's name is Beyond Imagination, and of course we like to bring up the Tower of Babel. Why did God disperse the languages and confuse the languages at Babel, or the Tower of Babel? Well, it's because humans can do what they imagine, anything they imagine to do, right? So,
with this system, I could put it into your parents' home. You could be 10,000 miles away from your parents. You could jump into the robot and be able to make your mom or your dad meals, make sure they did their exercise, go out to the garden with them. When you're not available, the AI can do tasks for you. And if the AI can't handle it and you're not available, then I can have one professional standing by for every 10 elderly. And this way, I can solve the elder crisis, because there's about 1/3 the number of professionals needed. So over time, this will go from surgical assist to manufacturing, to hospitality, to retail, to energy, logistics, you name it. It's really just limited by your imagination.
Yeah. There it is.
Yep. That's it. And he answered a question that a lot of other roboticists haven't been able to answer. We've seen a lot of, hey, this can take care of your mom. Don't worry. You just continue to go out and be a useful member of society and let the robots care for your elderly. The elderly, they don't need your attention.
Well, every once in a while. And that's the thing. I mean, think of how cruel that is, that, if you're the elderly, you don't know when the robot starts moving, if it's actually your spouse or not spouse or child, or
that's exactly right,
or if it's somebody in Iran, working the robot.
Yeah, right. That is the unspoken truth that he is speaking here, which is, yes, you can, tune in to the avatar, as he says, jump in, which is an interesting shows an interesting worldview there. Your consciousness jumping into the robot.
Yeah.
Take care of your mom, hang out with your mom or whatever. But if you're not available, then the AI can take over. Now, we are thinking about the AI learning the physical tasks, of cooking breakfast or helping with pills or whatever. But surely the unspoken truth of this is the AI also learns how you act, how you sound, how you speak to your mother. And then, the elderly, when that robot comes online, they probably won't have a chance or won't be able to tell, is this actually my son tuning into the robot to hang out with me? Or is it the artificially intelligent learned version of my son? And, it's really a dystopian nightmare being presented in such a humanitarian package.
Well, the reason why everyone's going to do it is because in most likely scenarios, they're going to get paid to do it, right? Because you need to give the data.
Yeah. They all want to share their data.
But what if they don't, Mr. President?
Pay them more.
Yeah, so he's whispered the agenda over the years. So, speaking of Joe Biden, is there anything else you want to say about the flipping?
Real quick. Yeah, just real quick. Shout out to Ebony Blaze says, so these demons are human possessed. Yes, it's very good. Thank you, Ebony Blaze.
Yes. Okay.
All right.